All right, today we're working with negative and zero exponents. So with our exponents, this means our base and our exponent need to be looked at individually. And then we have a negative included with it. So a negative is a location change. So normally we could say this is 5 over 1. Our location change doesn't mean it's going to drop down to the bottom. It's going to go into the denominator. So in this case, we're going to move this down to the denominator. Once we move it down, it drops the negative symbol. So we've moved a location down from where it was. If it was down here, then we would have changed it and moved it up into the numerator. So let's do another one. Oh, let's finish this one actually. So that means we have 5 times 5, so we have 1 over 25. Let's work on this one. Same thing. We're doing a location change. In this example, we have 10 to the negative third power. So I'm going to get rid of that negative. To do that, I have to do the opposite. The reciprocal changes location. All mean the same thing here. And make sure I keep my exponent. And then in this case, it's 1, 10 times 10 times 10. So 10 times 10 is 100, times 10 is 1,000. So it's 1 over 1,000. All right, so let's look at location change when it's in the bottom. So in our fraction, 1 is in the numerator and 3 to the negative 2 is in the denominator. This means that we're going to change location. It's going to do the reciprocal, do the opposite, it's going to move it up. So to do that, I would have 1 times 3 to the second power now. Once it moves, it changes location, it loses its negative. And that would still be over 1, but we don't need to include the 1. So if we worked that out, we would have 1 times 3 times 3. Anything times 1 is itself, so 3 times 3 is, in this case, that one equals 9. Let's do it with a variable involved. So first thing I'm going to do, change location. I'm looking to do the reciprocal or the opposite. That's going to get carried up, so I have to keep what was up there and move what needed to be up there. Once you move it, you drop the negative, but we don't usually write it this way. The correct way to write it is with your number first, because that's your coefficient, and then like that. Whoops. Like that. So 4 times 4 times x. So that would be 16x. All right, let's try another one where we have the we have a reciprocal involved. So that means that I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to move it, change its location. So the reciprocal for this would be to carry it up and put it in the numerator. So now I have x times y squared, or we can write it x y squared. All right, let's look at some zero exponents. Any exponent with a 0 means that this number is automatically 1. These two are different. So this to this is 1. And then you have a negative hanging on the outside. This is included in the parentheses. So you have 0 times this whole thing. 0 to the power. Let's try that again. 0 is our power to this whole thing. So this whole thing is now 1. When the negative's included in the parentheses, you have 1. When the negative's outside of the parentheses, you carry it and add it on after. Let's try another one. This to the power, this is our power, to our base. There's our base. So this is now 1. That means that this is 1 because it is included in the parentheses. This one has it on the outside. So this to this is 1. And add the negative on later because it is not inside the parentheses. Same situation. This to this is 1. This is not in a parentheses, so it gets added on later. Give it a try.